Let's do this. Welcome. My name is Belinda Foster. I appreciate you coming tonight, and I'm your host. And tonight we're going to be going over a nutritional cleansing system that so many have already heard about and many of your friends are using. And it's really going to be one of those systems that we feel eventually the whole world's going to know about, and there's going to be reasons why. I'm going to go over those tonight. So, who can benefit from this presentation? Well, anyone who values their health as their greatest asset, and I'll tell you when a lot of times that'll happen. It'll happen when something happens to our health. And it may be just one of the greatest assets that we have that we can tend to take for advantage and not realize how important it is until something pulls that rug out from under us, whether it's a large thing or a small thing or just a flu that sets us back or something as serious as cancer, something as serious as heart disease. And there's just a whole myriad of health problems. And so many do understand that health is your greatest asset. And if that's you or you want to take better care of yourself, then you're going to get a lot out of this presentation. Or maybe you just are concerned that Western medicine addresses symptoms and not the root causes of health issues, or that you'd like to lose a few pounds or a lot of weight. Maybe you just want to shred some abs, get a little leaner, gain a little more muscle. Maybe you just are a big naturalist. Well, not a nudist, two different things. But hey, why not? Take your clothes off, go run around and have fun. But when you truly start looking at all the natural, holistic remedies and what's been around for thousands of years before drugs, before Western medicine, it's really nice to know that there's a big comeback, and that's where the world is going. We're moving more into some holistic remedies. If you just want to feel better, look better, yeah. Oh, there you go, Rachel. Get naked nutritionally. I love that. Actually, that's a good slogan. Um, hey, go run with it. Run nude and natural. So yeah, maybe you just want to feel better, look better, sleep better, have greater mental clarity, feel alive. I mean, who doesn't want to feel those things? And so many of us have heard about GMOs and all the toxicity in our air, food, and water. There's a big movement going on, and there's a whole community of like-minded people just like you, where we are looking for real scientifically proven natural solutions. So I'm going to go through some things that I learned in some of my research. For example, per the USDA, they have stated that 84.21% of the nutritional value of our food is no longer there. Now that's a lot missing. Wouldn't you say? It's a lot missing. In fact, many of you have heard this, that it takes 51 bowls of spinach to get the same amount of iron, which is the amount of iron a woman needs per day, that she used to be able to get in one bowl of spinach in 1953. UCLA did this study, and due to pesticides and chemicals and the whole industrialized farming operation that we now live in, that's no longer that value, and those minerals are no longer there. And if you take that and apply it broad brush across our food, this is where we are. So many will say, well, that's why I buy organic. I'm good. That doesn't apply to me. But it also, this was the shocking part, organic could also apply to the statistic. It could have as little as 15% of the nutritional value or as much as 85%, but we're not sure which one we bought. Organic pretty much lets us know that the pesticides and chemicals aren't being used, but it doesn't tell us what type of soil. And if that soil is nutrient deficient, so will the food be that came from that soil. Our cells have to have 90 essential nutrients every day, and 60 are minerals. Now, essential means the body does not make them, and they are essential to your health. So 60 of those 90 are minerals. So I would say it's very important that we start understanding the role of minerals. On average, there are over 70 chemical residues and pesticides on our produce. That's a large number. 70 on average. Over 94% of our entire production of row crops, which are corn, wheat, soybeans, canola, cottonseed, are now genetically modified organisms. Now, what are GMOs? We've all heard that, and most of us know what it means. But for those who don't, it's a genetically modified organism that is Roundup ready, basically. It's seeds that have been injected and genetically modified with Roundup, with poison, And Roundup is a pesticide, and pesticides come from nerve gas, which was a little bit shocking too. It just sounds better to say, there's some pesticides to keep the crops growing and to be able to supply the world with all the food that we need. Although if you research that, so much of it's thrown away and it really never even gets eaten. That's a little bit of a shame. But the thing with these genetically modified seeds is that once that DNA is changed, it becomes property of that seed company. And if you think about the ramifications of that, seeds now become property and ownership of a company. And boy, if you control the seeds and the food supply of a planet, you have a lot of power. So keep that in mind when you're sourcing your food. But even if you were buying non-GMO, you're eating organic, there are still over 80,000 toxic chemicals, pollutants, and cancer-causing substances that we're taking into our bodies through air and food and water daily. You just can't escape toxicity. We've been pretty bad to the planet. A lot of that was unintended. It's just what happens with in industrialization and progression. And now we're dealing with those consequences, and they're affecting our health in a big way. 287 toxins are in an unborn baby's umbilical cord, and this is before they ever take their first breath. Out of those, 187 are cancerous, and there's still more studies being done. So if a baby who hasn't even had their first breath has this many, how many are in our bodies? We have more sickness and disease than ever, pretty much having a health epidemic. Everyone knows that, and we all know something's not right. And how about just the fact nerve gas was never a good idea to begin with? And also keep in mind something about acidic versus alkaline pH. That's also important for you to understand what acidic bodies what happens and what are some of the effects of high acidity versus an alkaline pH blood system, especially in the cancer and the research of cancer. They're saying that cancer just simply cannot exist with a alkalinity of above 7, and we'll talk about that a little bit. So why Isagenix? Well, obviously we must offer solutions in these areas, and here's the backstory of how it got started. Dr. John Anderson is a world-renowned formulator. When you're a GNC or a Vitamin Shop or Nature's Best, Nature's Sunshine, Metrics RX, all the companies that are out there, they hire scientists such as Dr. John Anderson. They want his formulators. These guys are iconic, and Dr. John Anderson is number one, and he's known as the mineral man. He can, I'm sure he'll go down in history as that person, that one doctor that made more strides in natural formulation, especially in the area of minerals, than anyone in the world ever, and probably even to come after him long from years from now. 30 years experience. He's formulated over 2,300 products, 600 companies, 27 countries. The problem is they wanted his name and they wanted his formulas, but then they would cut his formulas by up to 90% with filler, binder. They would leave out very critical ingredients that they deemed were just too expensive to source and bring in and test. And he always knew that these shortcuts and what was being put on these shelves under that retail model was not the best for our health. And so when he retired, he felt that it was his calling to start his own company, and he could control the fact that his formulas would not be cut. And the other gentleman here, Dr. Michael Colgan, Dr. Bill Andrews, these are just examples of some of the great scientists, researchers, Nobel Prize winners that are on our scientific advisory board of over 40. But when Dr. John Anderson decided after 30 years and after his retirement that he felt a calling to start his own company, and knowing he could have a big impact on the world, then he needed some business partners. And that's when he reached out to Jim and Kathy Coover and their son Eric. Jim Coover and Kathy Coover had twice retired. They're very successful millionaires with companies that they had taken through this process and built from the ground up. And Jim is known as the guy that can come in on the financial side, the business side, turn things around, especially with companies that are struggling. And Kathy is very big in the leadership of this company and coming up with all the motivation from the heart, the marketing, the tools. And of course, their son Eric has truly just stepped in there in with them and is leading the Start Your Life movement as well as the company globally. These people poured their hearts and soul into this company. But one thing that they said, we'll come out of retirement. We don't have to. But John, we see the mission of your company and we're going to do this with you. And that mission, that vision is to impact world health and free people from physical and financial pain. And through that goal, create the largest health and wellness company in the world. We're not trying to be a network marketing company. We're not trying to be, oh, look at us in direct sales. No, that's just a model that we choose to do business in. But we're really impacting the world. We're doing it. And Kathy's winning all sorts of awards for her leadership. We're being rated and winning very high in the American Business Awards. But I want to, before I leave this slide, you notice we say physical and financial. So when you came here to learn about a system and cleansing and products, you're like, oh, there they go. There's that money. There's that network marketing part, because that I was that way, to be honest. But I was just blocked to this model. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand where e-commerce is going and why. And so many companies are now choosing this model. You're going to see it more and more and more. But one thing I did not think about is if you're truly going to free people from physical, what are some of the reasons we have physical pain in our lives? And outside of the body, cellular health and nutrition. But how about also stress? And stress being money, lack of money, working long hours. Maybe you actually love what you do and you enjoy what you do, but there's stress in other areas of your life, in relationships, in the failing health of a parent, your health, stress and money. And you can have all the money in the world, but get sick and you'll go find out what the cost of healthcare really costs. It is not cheap. And remember, Jim and Kathy and John, already millionaires. They don't need the money. They didn't start this for their personal financial gain. They started it to free people. And so that's why up to as much as 50% of the money is given back to the people. And you don't have to worry about that. You don't even have to worry about any of that. We're here for the products because that's what matters. And if you fall in love and they make a difference. But I don't want to not talk about the network marketing aspect of this, because thousands of companies are starting every year under this model. There's a high failure rate. 90% of those fail. And if you look at the 129 plus year history of this model, it goes all the way back to Avon and Mary Kay and Tupperware and all of those household names that we know. So the model works. The model works. But if you look at the history of the failure rate, and it's just to show you why a company like Isagenix is setting this all ablaze and the world on fire, and it truly is. Only 80 in 129 year history have made it to 100 million in annual sales. 50 to 300 million, 5 made it to 300 million while continuing to grow their domestic market. And look, Isagenix hit 725 million in 2014 in our annual sales, and we still grew our market by 62%. In 2015, we were just shy of 1 billion in annual sales, and we grew our domestic market by 39%. We're in 13, 14 countries now. The thing with the domestic market, the reason that's important is wherever you started, whatever your indigenous market is, if that market is still growing, then that's a good sign. But let's just say that that market's saturated, competition comes in, and it's not doing so great. So many times companies will kind of fudge those numbers a little bit by factoring in new markets, foreign markets that they start up. And of course, a startup market versus one where you started 14 years ago, you're going to have different percent growth rates. And as long as that domestic market on its own looks good, it's holding, it's growing, you're good. And you're not, factoring in growth from foreign markets. And our global growth is just speaks for its own. I've got all those numbers and statistics, but one that I really want you to look at is here. 83% of our users out of the 100% that we have are using just the products. That is a beautiful number, because if this was more about recruiting and the money and just getting out there and pounding pavement to sell something, what a joke. We don't do that. We just simply use products that we love. People see that they work, they ask us about it, we let them know, we share a little information, and that's it. It's word of mouth, because that's what network marketing is. It's just word of mouth marketing. And so 83% are just product users. We love our product users, and only 17% take advantage of the opportunity. So it doesn't matter which category or both that you may want to get in. The important point is not to let that cause you any delay in doing your research and make a decision that this might be for you. So a few more things, a few more headlines you can see there. We are now number 27 globally on the top 100 list. We are 1,000 times more efficient at creating millionaires than the entire industry is as a whole. We have, it's now 9 years in a row. I need to update this. Been on the Inc. 5,000 list. We've won Stevie's Award Company of the Year several times. 36 times American Business Award winner. We've given millions to Make-A-Wish Foundation. And we have produced 172 millionaires since we started. And when I started 23 months ago, that number was like 120. And I just share that with you, because where else do you know that you can do something like this, get healthy, and also have some abundance in other areas such as stress, financially, and so forth. And I mentioned the company, so if you know people in these countries, then there's an opportunity to share it with folks there, or people you know who know people. So just know that there's a lot of opportunity to help so many people and share this. And I saw this the other day, and I thought that was interesting that and you don't have to get your nutritional products from e-commerce. That's fine. It's fine to buy them wherever you want, but just remember that when you're going to a place like GNC, and Dr. John Anderson was their formulator, by the way. That's why they've made it big, but he knows for a fact that they cut his formulas with filler and left out important vital ingredients. And not only that, when you buy from GNC, you're buying retail products, and you're also helping the CEO make about $1.5 million a year, a $950,000 salary, and another $500,000 plus in bonuses. So why wouldn't you just purchase from yourself? Superior product. Help yourself, your family, and anyone else that you know. Share your little secret and let them know where you get things from. So just to put this all in perspective, and you think about MAC makeup. When you're buying MAC, that's a very popular brand of makeup, then you're helping Fabrizio Frida's 5-year compensation to grow to over $17 million, one person. So you can do that model, but that model's why the wealthy get wealthier, and the rest of us, are working jobs. So, just know that this is a beautiful model, and that's why it's growing so fast. So, you can buy MAC, or you can buy Unique, and you can help a mother pay for diapers or daycare, rent. You can buy leggings from Victoria's Secret and help Sharon make more than $10 million a year, or you could buy clothing from LuLaRoe and help someone with their family. So just know that social marketing is here to stay. Don't be scared of it. So what are we? Now we're going to get to the business of the products and the system. There's basically 5 pillars of health: the Cleanse for Life, the Isoline Shake, the Ionic Supreme, the Ageless Essentials, and the Product B. And it's going to address all those issues that I talked about earlier on. I'm going to start first with the shakes, because you can judge an entire company by its shake. If there's anything at all about the shake that is not what it should be, then you can pretty much rest assured the rest of the products might be a little bit downhill from there. But Isagenix shakes are the best out there, hands down. They're different from other shakes. That's because they are live enzymes. There's nutrients, vitamins, minerals. It's a full meal replacement, complex, low glycemic, slow release carbohydrates, which are very important. We have to have a good source of protein that's undenatured. That means that it's not been heated, so it's live. It absorbs at over 90%. You've got your healthy fats, your fiber, prebiotics, probiotics, and I can drill down as deep as you guys would like on these shakes. There's nothing artificial in these at all. There's, again, 100 nutrients, 60 essential micronutrients, 11 amino acids, 2 essential fatty. And you know what? They're good. They're good. We are addicted to the shakes. I absolutely love them. You mix them with water. You don't mix them until you're ready to drink them. They are perfectly conveniently packaged. They're filling, and man, they'll travel anywhere. They're so convenient, and this whole program will actually save you money from what you're spending, and you know you're getting everything that your body needs. Now, our protein, our whey comes from New Zealand, and that's because New Zealand is not a believer of pesticides and GMOs and all those bad things and hormones and vaccines and so forth. These cows in New Zealand are grazing on natural pasture that's not treated. And because of that, they're getting liquid sunshine directly from source. They're getting the live DNA, blood of the plant, the chlorophyll, all that life, the enzymes that goes into the body of the cattle, comes out through the milk naturally. They're not artificially inseminated. Another big reason that our shakes are different too, because there's no hormones and chemicals being released like cortisol into that milk. And so that whey is as pure, that milk is as pure as you can possibly get it. But then there's the manufacturing process. How is that whey extracted? Ours is extracted through a cold filtration, low heat, much like raw foods are, where you don't destroy the enzymes. And that's the key to these shakes versus the opposite, which are your U.S. stress cows. They're pretty much chained up. They're in cattle lots. They're fed GMO grain. And then all the hormones they're given because they're so sick. Cattle were never meant to eat grain, ever. They're meant to graze on pasture, and there's a whole life cycle process that goes with that. And so when that's cheated, when it's cheated for quicker, faster production, more money, that's in those industries, then we pay that price. And then, of course, the way that the whey is extracted typically, for the way other companies manufacture their protein, is through high heat, acid, and that destroys the biologically active peptides. So keep that in mind, and that's why you'll find that's the major thing that's unique about our shakes that other companies cannot even come close to. So the second important thing to look at is our Ionic Supreme. Dr. John Anderson said, you know, if he was on a deserted island and could only have one thing out of all the thousands of things that he knows and has formulated, it would be this, and I believe it. And I have a story to tell you here in a minute of why. But here's where you're going to get your minerals. So 90 to 95% of the body's functioning is mineral-based, and we're not getting our minerals. Remember, if 85% of our nutritional value of our food is gone, how are we getting minerals? Because minerals are from rocks. Minerals are from dirt. Minerals are in the ground. How are you getting your minerals? And with 60 of those essential that your body cannot make. You're not getting them from food. You're not getting them from, you know, your supplements. How are you getting them? And you're going to get them through this system. For about $1 a day, a scoop in the morning, you're going to get 70 ionic minerals, trace minerals from ancient plant deposits. I mean, I'm literally, when we tell you the Himalayas and ancient plant deposits oozing out of the Himalayas, we're not joking. And you can see now why companies in the retail model, the brick and mortar model, they'd rather pay somebody $10 million a year than to go get an ancient plant deposit from the Himalayas. But remember, that's not our drive. Our drive, our purpose is to really change world health. And if we need an ingredient from the Himalayas that we know is going to help the body resolve issues naturally, we're going to put it in there. And so this is a critical, important pillar product. It comes with every package, every starter pack, because you got to have it. So it's keys for the cellular detoxification, nutrient absorption, the cofactors for enzymes, and all key functions in the body. Also, the Cleanse for Life. Now, the Cleanse for Life is, again, just a brilliant product that is for fasting. So when you're fasting, and we do an intermittent fast, studies have shown, if you've not looked at any research on fasting, I really encourage you to do that. But fasting is how the body naturally heals. And when you give your body a digestive break, then within that 48 hours, something magical happens. The body starts healing, renewing, replenishing. It also starts burning that deep tissue, visceral organ fat that's very dangerous fat. that belly fat. It's dangerous. And that is, studies are showing that that's where a lot of toxins are being stored, because it's doing its job. Fat is doing its job. The liver is doing its job. More fat, trying to protect the body. And if you notice, that's why we kind of have this epidemic of belly fat too going around. A lot of empty calories, a lot of things going on in the food manufacturing, processed food industry. So you got a lot of things working against you. Fasting is how you're going to release those toxins, burn that deep tissue belly fat. But look at this. What if you could fast, take a break from digestion, but still drink the nutrients and the minerals and the amino acids, the building block of the body, and botanicals, herbs, and everything that you need to get that nutritional value to your cells, and also to help reduce the volatility of those toxins as they're coming out of the body. And that's exactly what the Cleanse for Life does. And man, your human growth hormone in women in the first day alone increases by 1,300%, and in men 2,000%. If you would think too, if you think, well, why do I have to fast? Okay, well, our cells are addicted. They are addicted to whatever you train them to be addicted to. And if that's empty calories, processed foods, sugar, fat, and salt, and the food industry's done a very good job of taking out real, true, pure ingredients and replacing them with chemicals and substances and something artificial that mimics the taste of caramel, or that mimics the taste of sugar. So let's replace natural sugar with high fructose corn syrup and those kind of things. So the cells start becoming addicted, no different than laboratory mice can get addicted to cocaine. And there was a study where the laboratory mice were addicted, but then they put them in like a detox so they could go through the process of breaking the addiction. And then at the very end, when the mice were really jonesing, the withdrawals, but that's what it takes. They entered back into the opportunity for these mice to have a choice now. Do they want Coke or do they want sugar? And even with those mice having been addicted to cocaine after they were going through the detox in the slammer, drying out, guess what they chose? They chose sugar water. So just know that you're hardwired, your brain, dopamine, everything that's going on, why we have these cravings, can't help ourselves, got to have a little sugar, salt, fat. This is your answer, and that's why we have these products built into these systems and solutions. So how does it work? You're going to do a pre-cleanse period, and then a cleanse fast period, and then back to your regular pre-cleanse or shake days. It's really shake days, cleanse days, shake days. So you'll start out with, if weight loss is your goal, then you'll replace 2 of your 3 meals with our meals. Isagenix is a full meal macro micronutrient replacement, and whichever 2 are up to you. And then you'll eat 1 sensible 400 to 600 healthy meal, which we have meal plans and can give you ideas for that through our support groups, but it's your choice, whatever you want to have. And then after 4 or 5 days or 2 days minimally on this shake pre-cleanse to kind of get the body ready, then you'll do 2 days of fasting, unless you're a type 1 diabetic or you have some other doctor reason that medical advice has said you cannot fast for whatever reason. But most people can, and most people can do a 2-day. And just to prove it, I did a 10-day recently, and I never felt better. And I lived just on the Ionic Supreme, the minerals, and I had the Cleanse for Life, and then I had the Cleanse Support, little chewable tabs that we get that we can eat, these little protein powders, and some Isodelight Cleanse chocolate, some mineral chocolates. And I honestly felt like I could fast. I felt like I've never felt better. I don't even know how to explain the euphoria that I had. And so you definitely can do that. And we have a wonderful support group. And then after 2 days, on day 3, you go right back to your shake day routine. And pretty much that's it. And then you do that for 30 days, and you'll do another. So it's shakes, cleanse, shakes, and then you'll stay on the shake days for a while longer. Then you'll do another cleanse period, fasting period before the end of 30 days. And you'll see some changes, some benefits. Mental clarity, more energy, the toxins getting released. And if fat, belly fat, trimming up a little bit, leaning out. We were challenged by the University of Illinois Chicago, and they wanted to test our program, so they put us up against the doctor recommended heart healthy diet and did a study, and these are their results. They were as shocked as we are. They could not believe it, all the results, and here they are with 56% greater weight loss, 47% greater fat loss, 2 times visceral fat loss, which is huge. Remember, that's that dangerous belly fat, and 35% greater reduced oxidative stress. Very important in your aging, in your how long you're premature aging, how long you're going to live, just the quality of your cells, and that's what we are. We're cells. So speaking of cells, just wanted to touch briefly on Dr. Bill Andrews. He won a Nobel Prize. He's been just since he come out of the womb, pretty much. He just has always wanted to cure aging. Many now believe that we are unlocking the molecular mechanisms of aging, and that we will see our lifespan extended to 150 years, or we're going to die trying, and that's his mission. But he made a pretty significant discovery in our history of time, and he and many of the scientists that have been working in these areas were not quite able to formulate it naturally in order to do so. But what that discovery is with aging, and it has to do with telomeres. And what is a telomere? They're found at the tips of our chromosomes. They're like caps of a shoelace, if you will. And inside that little tip is your lifespan, your entire lifespan. You can have your telomeres measured right now and pretty much be given an idea of how long you're going to live. And they are also important determinants of how you're going to age, whether you're going to have some premature aging related diseases. And there's some significant research being done in this area, and Dr. Bill Andrews is one that's doing a lot of that research. So he brought his discovery to Isagenix. Let me see if this will work. I want to show this. It's just a quick 2-minute report that Diane Sawyer recently did. And I thought it was pretty fascinating.
Is it in a cage around the corner? News tonight of a breakthrough for some pioneering mice. But we always wonder, what does a fountain of youth for rodents reveal for humans? Here's Sharon Alfonsi reporting.
I feel tremendous.
In the movie Cocoon, it's a swimming pool that turns back the clock for a group of senior citizens. But now researchers have found a way not just to stop, but reverse the aging process. The key is something called a telomere. We all have them. They're the tips or caps of your chromosome, seen here in yellow. This is what it looks like in a young adult. But as you grow older, the telomeres become damaged and frayed, and as they stop working, we start aging, experiencing things like hearing and memory loss. Scientists took mice who were prematurely aged, added an enzyme, and essentially turned their telomeres back on. You can see it before the enzyme, after.
Their brain function improved, their fertility was restored. It was a remarkable reversal of the aging process.
Look at this picture. The mouse on the right has bad skin, gray hair, and is balding, but the one on the left had its telomeres flipped back on.
And you could see that essentially you now have a dark coat color, that the hair is restored, that the coat has a nice healthy sheen to it.
Even more dramatic, the change in brain size. This is before. The mice had 75% of a normal brain, like a patient with severe Alzheimer's. But after the telomeres were reactivated, the brain returns to normal size. As for humans, while it is just one factor, scientists now say by looking at our blood cells and measuring those telomeres, you can get a better idea of how well you'll age. The longer the telomere, the better the chances for a more graceful aging.
So, what do you think about that? And how honored are we that we have that product? No other company has this. They're not going to get it. From what we've been told with the researchers, the companies are a decade behind. Yeah, thank you, Rachel. This is very cool, and can give you so much more information on this, because this is some pretty big stuff. I do know there's some Italian scientists as well that were very iconic in some stem cell research, and they have been knocking on our door for a long time because, these guys know who's out there. There's a lot of nutraceutical companies, a lot of science companies, life science companies. I mean, even just talking to a stockbroker recently, and he was making some, recommendations for investments. He said, "Oh, you really want to look at nutraceuticals and life sciences?" And I'm like, "Well, you really need to look at Isagenix and do what I'm doing, buddy, because, um, yeah, you might want to check into us, and we're private, so we're just giving you our wealth. You don't have to risk it in the stock market in a hedge fund." But it was pretty funny. So he's taking a look as well. But this is some big stuff, and I just want you to know that we have it. Don't feel like you got to get this, but boy, I would not go a day without putting this in my body. And so what we called that was product B, and product B isogenesis, and that is specifically for that telomere protection. And we did formulate that. It helps protect those telomeres, and you want to get that in your body. Dr. Bill Andrews, by the way, is in his 60s. He's an ultra marathoner, and Discovery is doing a documentary on him, Discovery Channel. He does ultra marathons, which means 135-mile runs in extreme conditions. Boy, 135 miles? Are you kidding me? In extreme conditions. And he beats his own record. Each year he gets older, and he also beats the records of younger people. So just know that, we're all believers. We're a product of this product. We all use it. So you can get the Ageless Essentials with the isogenesis telomere support, or you can get just the telomere support. But why would you want to get these Ageless Essentials with the telomere support already put in these pre-packaged little packets? It's because you want the whole full antioxidants, the omega-3s, the vitamin D3, the resveratrol. And some people say, "Oh, I already have all that." But remember, up to 90% filler. These are 100% bioavailable. They dissolve in your mouth, they go immediately into your body, and they get to work. Here's a popular Whole Foods vitamins. 16 hours later in vinegar, it still has not resolved. Ours are 11 minutes or less. You want to get this absorbed into the body. What is in one AMPM pack a day of our Ageless Essentials Product B? $550 a day to get the same benefits as in one daily pack for just a few bucks a day. And some of the other products we have sleep spray. Love the melatonin. I don't know anybody in Isagenix who doesn't use this natural melatonin sleep spray. The low acid organic green tea trace mineral MCT oil coffee. How crazy is that? We test this coffee for mycotoxins. I mean, everything. Our raw materials are tested. We spend millions of dollars in testing, and it's got to be tested when it comes into the plant. It's tested for how potent it is, and it goes beyond anybody else's standards because our standards just can't be touched. It's tested after it's produced. If we say something has a shelf life of 2 years, it's tested 2 years later. There could be no shrinkage of the ingredients of the product. It still has to produce the same results 2 years from now as it would the day it come off our assembly line. You just won't find a company that gives more attention, puts more money in testing, research, making sure you have only the highest, purest quality products, ingredients in the world. I love our IsoPro. That's a standalone protein. That's, so there's the Isoline shakes and the Isoline Pro shakes, which just means they're meal replacement shakes with 24 grams of protein, or meal replacement shakes with 36 grams of protein for men and bodybuilders and anyone that's got more than 50 pounds to lose. But here's the beautiful thing about protein. Protein works both ends of the spectrum. If you are an athlete, bodybuilder, you got to have a lot more protein to support all that muscle and to build more muscle. So it works at that extreme. Or if you are overweight, if you have 50, 100, 300 pounds, I don't care if it's 20, 30, 40, protein is proven to help you with weight loss. And it's the building blocks. It's our building blocks. So Isogreens, our Isagenix greens have over 30 important miracle healing greens. Dr. Tony O'Donnell is the most iconic green formulator. If you go into any bookstore, he's the guy that's written all the greens book. He's who formulates our greens. We don't mess around. And the E-shots, yes, God bless the E-shots. These are your natural energy. It's sourced from green tea, yerba mate, It has adaptogens, which are herbs that help the body adjust to anything the body needs, especially to stress. Love these. I love these. And then there's the Amped. The Amped is the new line, the workout line, the sports line, the everyday athlete line, and so much more that I won't spend too much time to go into there. But whoever invited you to this, your sponsor, your mentor, but just know we have famous athletes, world-class elite athletes. We do not pay them to use our products. They use our products. And then we have, like my friend Sue, who enjoyed working out, decided she wanted to compete, started getting some Isagenix in her body, and bam, really packed on some beautiful muscle, and is just recently placed very high in one of the oldest masters bikini professionals ever. So you can take this to wherever your body wants to go. Here's Cody. He worked out religiously every day, was not a believer in package systems and all this jazz. And he went on this for 30 days, and he did nothing different but change his nutrition. And you can just see the puffiness, the belly fat, all that, because you're working from the inside out at the cellular level. Adam, here's some more of my friends and people that I know, and just what beautiful transformations. These folks are all in their mid 50s like I am, so we don't mess around. Well, this guy's younger, but this is Jeff and Debbie Beebe in their 50s, and we take this pretty serious. So 50s is the new 30s, and 70s is the new 50s, and we just encourage everybody to take a look at this. How do you get going? Just get a membership, and imagine being able to go to a brick and mortar store and say, I just want to pay $29 a year and just come in here and buy wholesale. Well, this is even better. You go online, you order, and order whatever you want. And just remember, we don't advertise. It's word of mouth. Anybody you share, we give you money back. We give you money. We give you referral fees. You get paid on residual income on what they buy, people that they share. It's just one of the most generous companies I have ever known. And how does it, work with the money and what's it cost? Well, we definitely have something for everybody's health goals, and we want to make sure too that we meet your budget goal. So since you're going to be replacing some meals, I mean, if you're a bodybuilder and you do 6 meals a day, you can still replace 2 of your 6 meals, for example, with Isagenix meals. So whatever that is, we sit down with you, help you figure out what are you spending now, which 2 meals would you replace, what are some other things and snacks and junk and vending machine and stuff. Look at where your money's going. And what you'll find is this will save you money. So we'll come up with what'll work. So here's just some examples, some starter packs. Believe it or not, we sell a good bit of these, or we don't sell, but people choose these. We just show them the packs. They go online. We set up their account, help them order their first order. But this is great for a family. It looks like a lot, but it's just getting the whole vending machine of everything. I highly recommend this if you're, a husband and a wife, or partners. If you've got more than one in your household and everybody wants to take this challenge together, this is what I would look at. And this one's fully 100% tax deductible. So where can you get all your nutritional supplements, your food, and support system, and write it off? This is a great pack. It's $2,000 worth of product for half that price. And then I can take that and show you how to even get this pack for as low as about, I don't know, the price of one simple pack like this one. But this is a great pack. It's half the price of the first one, and this is where most people start, because this one includes the Ageless Essentials with the Isagenesis Product B telomere support. You get a free membership, the blender, you get the cleansed chocolates, you get your snacks, your mid-morning, mid-afternoon. This is a fabulous pack. This is truly the best pack to get going with if you don't have a family and do the bigger pack. And then also there's just a basic. This is just more of the basic pack plus a few extra items that we know people love. And then you've got the 30-day. These are the flagship that I started with, except for it does not have the telomere support and the Ageless Essentials, but you can always build a pack. But we can take a base 30-day like this, and then after your first 30 days, we work with you, your mentor will, and they will show you how to keep going and just keep that nutrition going in your body. And most people spend 150, 200 bucks a month, and that's really nothing. I mean, you're talking $5-6 a day, and that's a Starbucks coffee. So that's why this has been so popular as well. And also, we recommend everybody joins the IsaBody Challenge. You get at least $200 in free product, a certificate at the end of the 16 weeks, and you'll be put in a very special group on Facebook. It's a corporate, official, secret, or private Facebook support group, and there's people from all over the world. There's famous athletes in there. There's no telling who you're going to see in there, but you're going to be really inspired by the transformation stories. You can enter it every 16 weeks, so feel free to enter it, 4 times a year, like everybody I know does. And who knows, maybe you'll win honorable mention. You can win $1,000, 3,000. The grand prize is 25,000. But everybody is a winner, because just by enrolling, you have this wonderful platform of unifying coaching support, and you get that $200 in free product at the end. So not a diet, it's a nutritional rebalance. It's natural. Oh, did I mention first 30 days you do get a money back guarantee? So we just want you to, think about this. If anything I said resonates at all with you, if you're like me and go, I don't know, all right, still a little skeptical, but I'm going to try it. And that was 2 years ago, and here I am. So I love this. Happy to help you. Otherwise, contact the person who sent this to you. They'll get you started. Be sure to sign up for the AutoShip Rewards program. Let us give you some referral fees. Why not? Get your products for free like we all do. This is me, day 1, me 10 days later, me 45 days later, me 2 years later. Again, my name is Belinda Foster. I want to thank you for coming, and I want to show you this picture. This is a movement of people who feel amazing. And man, you don't know how good it feels to feel good until you get this in your body. So guys, thank you so much for coming. If you have any questions, get back with whoever invited you. Otherwise, reach out to me. I'm always happy to help you. Good night, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Rock your weekend. Share the love. You guys take care and have a great evening.